right, evaluating the tape the other day, looking at the field, at the offense, defense, special teams. I thought offensively, thought we come out very strong. Thought we started very fast, did a great job. Had a 17-play drive, scored 2 out of the first 3 drives, did a nice job. I thought we had good balance. Thought we ran the ball better. I thought the offensive line played better in this game. Thought had some substantial runs and things they did, and even a couple pulls that Kellen had late that he scrambled could have been really good runs the other way. So I think they improved very well over the break. Got some continuity, pass blocked decently well in the game. Got some sacks at the end, but a couple of those are when you get having to throw as much as we did. But I thought that that from that standpoint, anything we had the 3 and out, and then had that critical fumble there, and then of course had a great 2 minute before the half. I thought the drive of 2 minutes before the half was very critical, going down and getting points. I guess 2 weeks in a row we've gotten that. Did that, come out, then got a 3 and out. We missed one throw, and then got a touchdown drive and got back, and then we got that critical penalty on that drive. We were going into fourth quarter. You're down 2 scores, and you got the ball and you're moving. You had a critical first down. Did a nice job. Then we got that, and they scored, and then got it out, and then they got the block punt, and then we come back and scored again. But moved the ball well. Thought we did what we did. A lot of the things in it, not a lot of missed assignments. Not you missed a throw, maybe a drop, a play you could have made. Got beat on a block, physically got beat, or by my technique, but not from assignments. Communication was well. Things were well. Guys were hats on the right place, making the right calls, doing the right things from that standpoint. I thought we improved greatly. But, against them, a team like Alabama who's scoring at the rate they're scoring at, there's no laps for anything. You got to make plays, and they got good players. And we scored 28 points and could have scored a little more, but that wasn't enough. Defensively, got to do a better job. We didn't, they didn't have to punt until the fourth quarter. They got the ball, some good field position, but still at the same time, we got to do a better job of getting off the field on third down. They hit some critical third and longs, and we didn't tackle in space as well. But they got good skill guys. That has a lot to do with the people and the personnel in which they have. Listen, it's hard. Nobody gets those guys on the ground very well out there in those situations, but we got to keep leveraging the ball, practicing those things, work on the pass rush. Got to get a better deal in our pass rush, and some things we did. Created 1 turnover. Got the big interception there. That was a pass between both teams. Had 1 and 1, and in that situation, but we got to get a little bit better and getting off on some of those third down situations. We had some momentum when we were scoring on offense. Could have got a couple of stops. Could have been critical. It was like offensively. You got to score. Your object is to score every drive. We scored 4 of the first 8, ended up being 5 of the 12. Had 5 of the first 11. In that regard, but defense got to do a little better job that way, and just clean some things up, keep on the blitz pressures. And we were bringing pressure, we were almost getting there, but you got to make sure that coverage stays locked up long enough to that quarterback just have to hold that ball just that split second so you can get that hit. So it's a combination of things. Kicking game, very disappointing how there, because we've been very good in the kicking game, and first parts of it, and just also kick placement. Our hang time and kick placements were not where we needed to be, and that has a big part of how you got to cover kicks. We weren't getting as much hang in our punts or our kickoffs, in which we normally do, and but then at the same time on our kickoff coverage, you got out of lane discipline, had to cut across and what we call knife a couple times, and we did, and we stayed outside, which created a lane. And when you fit all those gaps, it's just one lane. And then the guys got to cross over, and we looked at it and how we set it, and we tried to pick. They did some schemes, so we tried to pick and rub them and did that. But then one guy would always get just locked out of that lane, and we didn't do a good enough job. And we have to do a better job there. But also, if you can kick it higher, we get more depth and get more height and have a big effect on where we're at, and also pinning them in the corner. The punts, we're trying to, the first one of them big ones in the beginning was a punt placement, kicked in the middle of the field again. We were kicking it deep right, kicked it in the middle, which was very critical in us adjusting, because that adjusts your whole coverage over. And when you get pinned, when you release certain ways by where the ball is going, then that allows you to get pinned in your blocking, which creates the lanes going back the other way. Then the other times, as we get out, we got to do a better job of exploding as we block our way out. Sometimes not just blocking and absorbing, you got to explode as you're going out and getting the block on the run, which allows you to cover and how you fan and get to your places. So we'll work on those techniques and get back, and that was disappointing because field position in that game was critical. I think we averaged starting on the 22, and they averaged starting on the 47 or 48, I think it was, different things that went on. So that was very critical, and they did a really good job in that regard. I thought Seth, again, had 2 nice kicks in the game, had 2 field goals, hit his field goals. Big one for the half that was very critical in the second drive down there. And we had some opportunities in the game. I thought our kids competed hard in the game. Thought we played hard. Again, Alabama's a very good football team. They're number 1. I said they can affect you in all 3 phases. And their skill guys, really, their space guys, do a really good job of having to get those guys on the ground and that is a big difference when you really look at the numbers. As far as we had good solid drives defensively. They're skill guys. We had them in position. We just didn't get them on the ground, and they would pick up first downs, and they have quite a few of them. They do a good job. So they're well coached and do a really good job. So we'll have to improve on that. Get ready. But again, I thought we improved over the bye week in a lot of little areas in which we saw. Get the special teams part of it cleaned up and get our kickers going back, because we have excellent kickers in that regard, and cover a little better and get things going. So, questions?
To the right, Gabe, and then down front, Brent.
Yeah, Coach, staying on that theme, what can you do during the week to try to fix some of those issues? Can you put more starters in special teams?
Well, there is a lot of starters in there, and we're keeping them rotating out, but also how they fit and what they do. And as I say, there's over half starters on both, yes. And we've always believed in playing the best players on special teams. I don't believe that you don't play your starters on special teams. We play the best guys in which we have, and we rep guys in those positions all year long and in the off week, repping guys that can handle that position and what that guy's talent level is. So if you look, there is still quite a few starters, probably trying to think on punt. It's 7 or 8, I think. It's something in that it's in that realm of our starters are on those special teams. So you put your best players on special teams, no doubt.
Down front, Brent.
I guess this is the special teams edition. So how do you split up your special teams duties, and have you always done it that way instead of having a dedicated coach? And why is that? Because
each guy has it one time, and he can specify. If you take one coach off, then you lose a complete position coach on what you got. So each guy, we have guys, we overlook it as a group, and then each guy is specified. I'm the kickoff specialist. I'm the kickoff return specialist. And guys have done it in the past. And we've had 3 guys. We got 3 guys on our staff that have been special teams coordinators. So we all sit there as a group, and we do it as a group, and looking at it, how we're going to cover, what we're going to do, and those things. So we spend as much time on special teams as anybody. Like I said, a lot of people don't even practice on Monday. We spend over 30 minutes on Monday on special teams, getting our schemes in. And then on Thursday, it's about 30 minutes, and then it's about 18 minutes on Tuesday and Wednesday. So we spend a ton of time, ton of scheme. And it's not that because we have one back. We've been exceptional in our special teams as far as coverages and things we've been doing, and didn't do it one game. So we got to make sure we're doing things right, got the right people in the right places.
To the left, Travis, and then to the right, Ole.
With how effective Kellen's been running the ball as of late, how do you balance with him running the ball, getting those extra yardage, and being able to protect himself when he's taking more hits?
Well, usually when you're running the ball out of the pocket, you don't take the hits you take in the pocket, because you know when those hits are coming. You may get hit, you may do, but you got to play the game. If it's committed that you run it, you run it. If you throw it, you throw it. If you hand it, you hand it. I mean, those are all dictated a lot of times by the defense, and certain schemes you can control that more so on, which we do. You got to be able to handle it, because you can't make it. You got to have guys to be able to just hand it and make your plays. But at the same time, by what they do on defenses, that's the way the game's being played now. Whether it's an RP, like a lot of our. Now, he had some nice throws, and we had some really nice runs blocked on RPOs. That's just the way this game is being played now, and you have to do it. So it's a decision-making game for the quarterback. And the punishment you take out of the pocket, I always said, is usually not as drastic as what you take in the pocket, because of those are sometimes the hits you do not see and are confined in a tight area.
Right side, Olin, and then to the left, Chuck.
Yeah, Coach, y'all had some struggles last year, and then it changed, and y'all, finished the season really strong. So if you think back, what changed, and are you seeing any indicators this year?
We just got better at what we did and understood the scheme, and guys being in the system, and like this year we played some really good football teams too. We played some really good teams on that side, but we're, like I say, we got a pretty good football team too. You see in spurts in which we play. We got to play more consistent. We get more experience, but then you get comfortable, and guys know it, know their roles, and there's a lot of young guys in roles right now that are really growing and that I think are getting better. And I think as you practice during the season, you get better. You should get better. You don't practice to endure. The way we practice, we should be getting better each week, and that's what happened last year as we continue to go. We won some really tight games and learned to get over those humps.
To the left,
as our players understand the schemes and what they're being able to do.
Chuck, and then to the right, Gabe.
And following up on the improvement and that sort of thing, and this may be a dumb question, but when you're evaluating, it probably is, but when you're evaluating your team, how difficult is it when you look at the 3 losses that have come against teams that are 17-1 in terms of gauging improvement, gauging consistency, gauging breakdowns?
There's everything in public and coaches too. It's still wins and losses, and you got to win games. But at the same time, you got to be able to see how a young man is getting better and more consistent when you grade him out. You know, and because each player gets graded out individually. I grade the whole team. I grade the plays. Are the plays there? Are they not there? Can they be executed? Is it something that we're running? I call into a dead play. Sometimes every now and then a defense has something called or an offense has something to get you. But, you know, those aren't the things. But the thing you grade, how much more consistent is he? Then you look at the guy he's playing. Sometimes the guy's playing against a first-round draft pick. Sometimes the guy's not a draft pick. So you got to judge who his competition level is, how his consistency is, how his steps are, and you got to stay the course because you can see a lot of things that other folks don't, and that other folks don't care about. And I don't mean that in disregard because, listen, fans and people want wins, they want results, they want success. We all do. Coaches do too. But we have to keep things in perspective of how we're looking at the film and what we see on the film as guys are growing and getting much better. And that's how you do it as a coach.
Right side, Gabe, and then to the left, Suzanne.
Jimbo, over here. How significant is it to this offense and for this offense moving forward that Jalen Weidemeyer is really starting to be a big part of the vertical passing game?
It does. And because you attack the middle of the field, you get third down throws, you get first down throws, and it's another weapon which can take pressure off your wideouts. I mean, those things are always getting there, and he's getting much better, not just in, we talk about the passing game, but he's learning to block better. Because he was always a guy that was flexed out. He's learning to put his face on blocks. And just like Jace had to learn. Jace was basically a wide receiver when he came here that was not involved in blocking. And by the end of the year, became a good blocker. I mean, he's evolved into that. We're in that same process as he keeps coming and where he's doing. But he's got a chance to be a really, really good football player.
To the left, Suzanne.
I wanted to ask you about your running game. You have almost half your yards came in 2 games against Lamar and Texas State. Are there any guys on the bench that you might look at and put in the rotation other than the 2 guys you're using?
There's not many other guys there.
I mean, do you think that this is a situation where you can?
That's about it. And also the game, I thought we ran the ball the first 3 or 4 drives really well. It got in the game where it became a 2-minute drive, then we got behind, they scored the first drive of the second half, and the game dictated. I thought we ran the ball much better in that game. If you look at the film and study the film on the runs, he pulled a couple RPOs that he hit Courtney one for about a 14-yard gain. He pulled one and ran down there on the goal line to the one when we scored the first touchdown. It was about 12. If you look, if he hand off the counter too, because that was blocked well, I think our running game actually has gotten better in the last 2 weeks. It doesn't always show as far as by the backs or what's going on, but by how the game with the RPO game, sometimes those don't get thrown or get ran because of what dictates on defense also. But it's getting better, and our players, and we'll just keep repping these young guys and what we got because the backs we have right now is him, Cabody, and Cordarian. That's the tailbacks we have.
And could Cordarian see more playing time?
No, we'll see.
Okay.
I think it's bad. He missed a week of practice a week ago. He had a family issue that he wasn't involved in practice because of just a family thing he had to take care of that was nothing on his part, and he missed a week.
To the right,
Coach,
right
back here.
back.
How close do you feel like this team is to kind of flipping that switch and righting some of these wrongs to make these plays that come down?
Well, I don't think there's as many wrongs as some of the people we're playing, but we got to get more consistent, and we're getting better each week. We got better this week than we were the week before, and we'll hopefully line up and get better this week. I mean, we'll see. We'll just keep practicing, sawing wood, and putting them in a position to be successful and coaching them up.
To the left, Cease, and then Alex.
Last year you had the good game against Clemson to get everybody confidence. You had the victory over Kentucky. This year you struggled a little bit. Where does this young team get its confidence?
Well, we just got to keep playing. Hopefully this week we'll play well. Then the next week we'll play better, and then the next week we'll play better. You just got to keep playing. I mean, and getting to where we got to go to.
Follow up, if I could, on special teams. At Florida State, when you won a national championship, wasn't one of your assistants just specifically, I looked on the media guide,
it says that, but it was done exactly the same way. With the same structure we had at Florida State is the exact same structure we have here.
To the left, Alex.
Hey, Coach, kind of looking at Ole Miss, what can you say about the way they're really running their offense with the 2 quarterbacks and then the run game especially?
They do. I mean, one can really throw it and run well, and the other one can really, really run. I mean, he's fast. I mean, he's 4.4, 4.5 fast. I mean, really fast, and they're doing a good job of just putting together what they have to do, young backs, and they can throw it and keep you spread and go no huddle. They're dynamic players. They say they hit a couple big runs in that game against Missouri last week. I know that the quarterback came in and did a really nice job.
Go right side, Gabe, and then to the back.
I was basically going to ask about their QB run, but you face a lot of these offensive guys that do QB run, but they all do it kind of a little bit different
Everybody's
than one
a little
another. What's unique about the way Rich Rod does it?
Well, I mean, one, they rotate quarterbacks, which does that, which, you got to be careful because you think one runs, one throws, and all of a sudden they twitch it up on you, and you know that part of it. But, I mean, it's still counters, it's powers, it's stretches. It's still the same kind of run, zone reads. It's still the same. They're doing it in no huddle. They'll do it from a lot more spread looks and what they're doing, but they just do it and do it well, and that's their identity.
Coach, back behind the lights.
by playing such a run-heavy team, do you feel like, I guess, to your advantage preparing for a team like this rather than, Tua and Alabama?
Well, it is as far as, you say a run team, but, they still throw it. And, they still make plays. And you look, they're still throwing a couple hundred yards a game, and they make enough plays that way. And that's why I say they run to throw. Alabama throws to run. They're backwards. And so that's just their emphasis. But both of them have balance, and they both know how to throw it, and they'll do it. So hopefully we'll match up well. But it is tough the way they do it, and you do it with so much quarterback run. That's a totally different run, because that adds another blocker and evens the numbers up.
A couple more down front, Brent, and to the left, Justin.
Seems like it wasn't that long ago people would say, let's see where a program is in year 3 or 4 of a coach. Do you ever feel like sometimes reminding people that you're a year and a half into this deal right now?
No, I don't, because of this. I don't mean that. We got work to do, and we go to work, and we're going to get better each and every day. And I'm the same way, man. I want fans to have expectations and to want to be good and want to win, and we do too as coaches, but we go to work each day, coach what we have as far as what we're trying to get better at, what we're trying to improve on, what we're trying to create, and just keep going what we do, and knowing that I still feel very good about where we're at, what's going on, and where the direction we're going. Our kids are playing very hard, and like I say, I can watch the film and watch us get better. So recruiting is going well, so I feel very confident in what we're doing.
To the left, Justin.
Coach, how much of taking the next step is like seizing the moment? I just look at you said 34-20, your defense just got to stop, have a chance to go down to the field and make it 34-27 against Bama. Those big moments like that,
yeah.
how do you better seize those moments in a game?
You got to understand and be in them. Just like, when you score and go up 7-0, coming out and getting a stop, making sure you get a stop, and then you can get it back and go up 2 scores. Both sides. As a team, you just got to understand how to do that, and you understand the other teams. But also that when you play good people going to make plays. And, it's not that I don't think they want to. I think they understand. Just got to keep doing it and, keep sawing wood, and it'll be there. And we'll keep improving our players, getting them better, coaching them better, getting them bigger, faster, stronger, keep recruiting, doing the things we got to do, building the depth in which we got to have.
Anything else? All right, we'll get Keldrick and Kellen in.